It was not my intention to hurt you. To see the way you hurt breaks my heart.
Ooh.
That's it.
Hi there.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
I am Chidi Akunna.
And I am Victor Akunna.
Alright, so today we'll be continuing from where we left off in our last video. Mindful apology. The right way to apologize. Okay, so if you haven't seen the last video, please get on our YouTube channel, Foundation for Family Affairs, and watch it. You will pick a lot from it, I assure you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for this one, we'll be considering the right way to apologize. And the first one we'll be going for is it has to be at the right time and the right state. And in saying this, you know, like a woman might say, he apologizes, but it doesn't make any sense. And that might just be that her spouse has not considered the right way to go about it. And one of it might be the right time. Now, in the heat of the moment, you can't be apologizing. Okay? And that's why sometimes, you know, in the last video, he said something, dropped a very hot punch there. And he said it could be no apology is a second insult.
Yeah, a stiff apology.
A stiff apology is a second insult. You know, so in that moment where the heat is really, things are intense, that's not the right time to, you know, begin to apologize. Because you go to her and you're like, oh, I just want to say I'm sorry, and she flares up. And you're like, oh, what does she even mean? And things just go south, you know. So the right time might be that you just allow the tempo to go down a bit, and then you approach your spouse and say, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Don't forget, in the last video we said apology opens things up for a conversation, right? So this is me coming out and saying, I'm sorry, can we have a talk? Let's talk about what happened. You see, but when we say that, we're also careful to say, do not leave it too long, because some people just carry on. Yes, because we say, oh, it has to be the right time. I'm still waiting for the right time.
Waiting for the right time.
Right time. Find it.
Absolutely.
Okay, that state where you know your spouse is more disposed to listen. Okay, you can't just leave something the whole day. And you know where they said the sun must not go down on your anger. This is you also trying to help your spouse go to bed, heart-lighted, you know, in a good state. Absolutely. So let's just talk about things and see how we can make things better. You want to add to that?
Yeah, so it's very important. The emotional state of someone. If you've been into sales, you understand that one of the things that you must be able to study is people's emotional states. That are emotional state people will be in, they are more favorable to make certain decisions. I mean, as a little child, I knew when to meet my parents to get something. I knew when not to approach my mom or my dad, because I know the state matters. They can decide between yes and no. Alright, so ability is the more you know your spouse, the more you know how to walk around, navigate.
When he or she will be more receptive to what you have to say.
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely. So very, very important for you to study the emotional state of the person, and know when to work in, know when to go out. That's very important. Okay. So the next point we'd like to talk about is to choose your words right. Choose your words.
Very important.
All right. The words that we choose are powerful. Someone who says words can make or mar us, make or break us. Words are powerful. Words that are insensitive, words that are mean, words that are accusatory and demeaning can, add more salt into the injury. Words that are insensitive, there are words that trigger certain people. If you've lived with someone, you know the words that activate the right energy. You know the word that activates, For example, if you have a spouse whose love language are words, the more you should be even more conscious about the words that you choose. Because they are not reacting to what you are saying. They are reacting to the meaning they are attaching to the words that you are speaking. So that's why the more you know your spouse, the more you should know how to apologize correctly. Alright, so maybe at the beginning, you might buy flowers, when you're trying to date her. She might not be a flower girl. She might not be a flower person, Hers may be writing her a letter where you express how sorry you truly are. And you'll be amazed that 15 years down the line, into the relationship, into the marriage, she still kept those letters. Alright? So, very important for you to be able to study your spouse and choose the right words. Words that trigger empathy. Words that, for example, I am so sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. I completely, it was not my intention to hurt you. To see the way you hurt breaks my heart.
Ooh.
That's it. To see the way you hurt, I don't know what I was thinking.
Anyway.
It was not intentional. You have to choose words that elicit the right emotion. Not words that build friendships. Not words that say it's your fault. I've warned you before about this. No. You are trying to build connection, not burn bridges. Very important for you to choose the right words.
And the next one would be the right attitude.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's saying that this is me accepting responsibility. Okay, I'm not trying to discount, because there's a tendency to say, but why is he angry like that? Like, what was it I even did? Like, to be honest, why this kind of outburst? Hey, this is me accepting. I've wronged you. I'm sorry you feel the way you do. My attitude says it. I know, like I'm truly repentant. You look at me and you can see that I am truly sorry. Okay? I mean the apology. Don't forget we said earlier that for apology to be effective, it has to be meaningful.
Absolutely.
You have to mean it. Come on.
And then you need to give your spouse time. Because sometimes we apologize and we want them to just turn around like this immediately.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
For some issues, it's like that. For some issues, it might not be like that.
I think you touched on something really big there, because there was this video going viral, and it had a lot of reactions. And I think someone had gone off and cheated on his spouse, and the wife, I think, was probably not taking it. It was a shock to her at the time, right? So back to what he was saying, you need to allow time. And sometimes I think some people may say, oh, why? But it might depend on the intensity of what you have done.
Absolutely.
The intensity of the wrong.
Absolutely.
Okay? So you need to allow time. She might still be going through the shock effect of it, like, how could you? So she probably needs some time to get used to it, take it in, okay, accept that it has happened, and then what can we do next? But when you're trying to force the apology on this person, but I've said sorry, I've apologized. Okay, now I'm going to go out and ask the world to help me apologize to you. And then at that point, she might be feeling really insulted, because she might just feel like you've even gone on to wash our dirty linen in public. You see the point? So
thereby making matters worse. So,
yes.
And again, apology sometimes is not just words. Sometimes you have to keep apologizing. Alright, you have to keep apologizing.
So your attitude would keep showing that, okay, I truly accept responsibility.
Absolutely. Constantly disposing and constantly showing that appreciation, constantly showing that apologizing to your spouse. I'm truly sorry. To be honest with you, I'm true, and I mean what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. And then you are expressing it, alright? Because we all are coming. Someone said, I think it was Maya Angelou. Thank you so much. Said something. Said, I come as one. I stand as 10,000. Come as one. I stand as 10,000. And what that means is this. We are a combination of all the experiences, all the people that have spoken into our lives, all the books we've read, the places we've been. So we are a combination of memories and experiences. So how I will react to an issue will be different from how my wife will react to an issue.
Certainly.
My background as regarding how I grew up, concerning the financial experiences of my parents, myself as a little boy, will impact how I react around the issue of money. So if anything flags up, that has to do with money, how I will react maybe will be different, because that aspect of my life probably was supercharged as a young boy. Alright, so if anything pricks there, my reaction will be different. It's like when someone has an injury in the hand, you just usually what you just do is just grab the hand like you normally shake the hand, and the person will scream. But someone who doesn't have an injury, you hold him, shake him regularly, nothing is going to feel any pain. So if someone is feeling pain, have some emotional trauma from the past or around an issue, One apology may not do it. So sometimes you have to be patient with them. You have to apologize. You have to give them time because it's a journey. All right? It's a rocky place for them and they need to come and they gradually build. Very, very important. So the next thing we'd like to talk about. You want to go on?
Okay. Be clear on how you want to change. And now, when I was speaking, I said something about being truly repentant. So this is you also saying, okay, I've done this. I am going to do this differently.
Absolutely.
Right? With the example I gave earlier, this is me saying, okay, I'm going to have to put boundaries in place. I'm going to have to give more time to our relationship.
Yes.
Anything that takes my mind off my spouse, I would have to be more intentional now. Make sure you see the first video.
Absolutely.
You'll pick some things there because I just threw in being intentional and remember that again. Okay, but this is me saying every step I take will tell you I am different.
Okay, so very important, you taking responsibility for what you do. I think it was Spider-Man I was watching many years ago. He said, with great power comes with great responsibility. So, well, you can flip this around. Anytime you take responsibility for something, it shows leadership, it shows initiative, it shows maturity. All right? So, sign of maturity, you taking responsibility. I'm sorry I wronged you this way, and this is how I'm going to move it. So, for example, it's courageous. So, for example, you made a huge purchase without telling your spouse, whereas your spouse already set up that account for a certain money to live there. So, because of that, something went wrong. So, what do? You tell your spouse that I'm really sorry I wronged you this way. Going forward, I'm going to make sure that I check it with you before I make so and so and so and so purchases. Very critical, very important. And that way your spouse knows that you're not just apologizing. You have taken practical steps. You have created a policy within your family to say, I am going to keep myself under this oath to be able to make sure that this does not repeat itself in the future. So, for example, you did something, you said something wrong, you posted the wrong image on social media. I'm sorry that came out, I've deleted it, but going forward, I'll make sure you check every picture of you I post on social media. Very important. All right, so don't just say, it doesn't. So sometimes what your spouse may be angry about may not make sense to you. Remember, you are not apologizing for yourself. You're apologizing to them because they are viewing that situation from their own worldview. And it will be an insult to discount their own story, their own perspective of the issue. And that's why we must apologize, even when we don't understand, or even when we think we've not done anything wrong, just for you to establish a channel of communication.
Okay, and the last one, which someone might say is pretty obvious. Let your body language align. Okay, don't be saying I'm sorry and your body language is saying different. I'm sorry. Come on, just take it. I'm sorry.
How many times did I say?
At least I said it.
I mean, you do not tell me. I'm the one that said I apologize. Come on.
Let's do different.
Yeah, let's be better than that. Let's call ourselves to a higher standard.
Yes, I like that.
Let's call ourselves to a higher standard. Let your body language, like for example, I'm sorry.
Okay, he's looking me in the eye contact. He's just touched me. I'm softening because of the impact of the touch. And then he's saying something I'm listening to. He's triggering a lot of senses, a lot of organs at the same time. So even though I'm upset, with my body naturally softening, something's happening to my heart already. I'm feeling like, okay, I'm not so happy with you, but.
And there are times where the person wants their space, don't barrage them. Where if you want to touch, sorry, don't touch me now. I'm really upset. Don't barrage and be following them around the whole rooms. Yeah. Respect that. Give them time and then try again. Give them time. They need time to just get their emotions so they don't say the wrong thing. All right. Give them time and then try again. All right. Relationships are powerful. Relationships are put in our lives to accelerate us, to help us get quantum leaps in life. Relationships are transgenerational. My dad said something to me when I was going to get married. He said, make sure when I was preparing to get married, he said, make sure you make the right decision, because any family you choose, you are intertwined for the rest of your life. Marriage connects to family for the rest of your life. So very deliberate. So relationships are powerful, they are life-changing. It doesn't leave you the same.
Let us know what you think, and if you have other points you feel we've not touched on, please leave them in the comment section. We'll be very happy to read from you. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, Foundation for Family Affairs, please hit the subscribe button and then the notification bell. Come on, we've got some good content coming. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to miss out.
See you
so
guys.
until we come your way again,
see you.
it's goodbye from us.